Hey everybody, Austin here. Back for another trade recap. But before I do, I want to say I'm not licensed, I'm not registered, I'm not a financial advisor, and none of this should be taken as investment advice, even if it sounds like it. Okay, so I just want to do a quick video this time about a couple of trades that I made this week because it was a really slow week for me, and I didn't get much exciting trades off. There was Berg and Workhorse, and I kind of already went over those. And this is kind of more along the large cap segment of like my experimentation of my trading. I've been trading a lot more large caps lately in relation to how I used to trade. And so I kind of want to go over my journey, and this is part of the journey. So this is what like Roku is one I had on my watch list that I went over in the webinar, the first webinar that I did on Thursday. And so if on the webinar, I think if we even go over here, I think I said like I wanted to push up and it opened. Oh, I don't have the other one. Anyway, I think I said I wanted to put an open like a push up, a gap is ideal, like in push and unsustainability push, and then we can fall back. And um, we didn't get the gap, but it was still on watch. So for me, the push at the open was kind of good enough. So what I was watching at the open was ideally I had no idea on the daily which level it could like reject because we're kind of at all-time highs. So I had no idea really. I'm just going off whole and half dollar marks. That's all I have to go on. And so I'm watching here Roku at the open. And I'm just watching it kind of consolidate. And I was in the large cap rooms too, and like we were talking about how this was, like flagging in a way. I'm not a huge named chart pattern guy, but I don't put a lot of emphasis on one, but I put a little bit of emphasis on all of them. I think all chart patterns work. That's why they're kind of named. And so I just don't have a super favorite one that like, oh, this is a bear flag, this is a bull flag, this is, I always buy these on bull flags. Like, no, like if I'm like, I will use chart patterns um, at sometimes as entry methods because it's a chart pattern. I believe it works, but the context has to be there, right? It still has to be something I'm willing to trade with the right idea. So like I'll just use the a chart pattern as kind of like a springboard, to get into a trade. If I feel the time, if I feel like this chart pattern is going to work in this scenario. So it's not like I'm always looking for bear flags or always looking for bull flags or pennants or, head and shoulders. Like a head and shoulders might be the trigger for a short, something that I've been watching all day. And I'm like, you know what, this does look kind of like the right entry. I feel it's right. It is a head and shoulders. Um, we just had a failure to break out, and I'll apply my own kind of rationale to the trade. But anyway, we were talking about how this was flagging, like a push, a higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high. And so what I notice here is that um, this is where we make a lower low. So in my opinion, the flag is, this is, it just broke, right? Like if you drew a line and you drew a line, we're broken down here. Like this is a lower low than before. We shouldn't have made a lower low. If you want to be super wide about it and say 84 held, like that's your own discretion. For me, this kind of broke, but I wasn't willing to get in here. I just wanted to kind of see how it played because like I said, I don't trust chart patterns religiously, but this kind of gets me keen to the idea because I was short biased on it to start, and so this is where I really start liking the trade, right? This was my second trade. I'm going over the second part of my trade. I had a scalp here in the morning, and I'll go over that too. But this was like the actual part of the trade where I was like really watching for it. So right around here is where I'm thinking that this should like we just broke the flag. Let's see if what if we just reclaim, because I was considering a buy up here. Like if we broke the flag and then bought and the SPY got really strong at the time, I was like, yeah, that might be really good, right? like if we just, trapped everybody down here short, this comes back and the SPY is strong, this can be a really good long, So I was kind of hesitating right here. This is where I thought like the magic might happen for the long too. So I didn't want to get caught short. So that's why I was being careful. And like we tried a couple times, like higher lows to grinds, and where I really start to like it is when we get under this low, this little mini time frame low, because I'm like, to me, this signifies where the reclaim fails. Where like if this is the broken chart, this is the chance to kind of trap. This is where we didn't trap. So if we can't go up, this is a broken flag now. Like you want to draw the line, like I can draw it for us here. Let's see. Trend line. Right, like, so when we broke it there, if we can't come back, I'm really thinking this is gone. Right? I'm really thinking this is done. And so this is where I get short. And this is where the bad part of my trade comes in. I pike the crap out of this because my idea is that we can go red, and this is going to be a solid trade if we can go red, because might get some profit takers here at all-time high if this goes red. And what I end up doing is I totally just pike the crap out of it. I cover it here, and part of me, and this is where I should have been a little bit better. This is not niche for me, and I'm giving myself, I'm not like super punishing myself for it, because like it's still learning trades, growth trades I like to call them. But like I should have been waiting for some kind of support to cover into, like this 81.26, or this 78 level maybe for the home run, right? Or even like this 80.50 level. Some kind of support I kind of just covered it right at green to red, which is the first area I did want to take some profits in, but I didn't hold anything else. I just kind of took it because it's a large cap trade. I was right. I wanted to be paid. And I wanted to be right. And no one ever went broke taking a profit, but you can go broke taking too small profits over a long period of time. So I covered it all like right here, and I should have like held something for lower. This is why I'm disappointed. Now, in the end, it didn't really do much of anything more, but that's hindsight, right? I should have held regardless. And so I want to go over what the SPY was doing at the time. Right, so at the time, the reason why I was worried about the reclaim is because, in my opinion, Roku was showing some really good relative strength, because in the morning, the SPY absolutely crashed. And this is worrying me, that the SPY was crashing and Roku wasn't, right? Like we were holding strong over here at like 10 o'clock, 10:15. 10 o'clock to 10:15, we were dust in the SPY, right? Like we were just eating crap. And Roku was holding up. So this is why I was cautious with and didn't just short right here, because it did have relative strength. But it was able, like around here, like I was really saying, like, because this has such relative strength, maybe we should be popping here. And when we didn't, that was also an added jelly bean to the scale of like, okay, I think this is going to roll over, go red, trigger some stops, and we're going to have a nice trade out of this. So that was one part of this trade too, is I was basing it off of the SPY, and I was, trying to predict some expectations here. And anyway, so this was my trade on it, actually. So you can kind of see, like, I had to do this at another time. So, so right at around here is when right at around here, I shorted it because we just kind of double top, broke a lower low, broke VWAP, broke 85. This is I feel like there's going to be some profit taking, and I can get a quick scalp out of this. This is also, if you look at the time here, right around here, what time is this? Like where I scalped it, right around here, 10 o'clock. This is when like the SPY started to tank, right? This is when we got the big candle on the SPY. like right around here, like we started to really tank here on these big red volume candles, and I was like, and it was a breakdown from the SPY, so I'm like, okay, maybe this is gonna follow SPY. I can get a quick scalp on the follow through momentum on that, and so I did. I took that quick little scalp, just expecting nothing more than like a little small payday. But this is the trade that I was really going for, and I just piked it. And so if I can do anything better, I would not pike it. Another trade I kind of want to go over is UVXY. Now, this is an ETF, and I gotta say, this is not for the new trader to do. Like, you can get really burned if you get stubborn with it. Like this, you need to be a disciplined trader only to trade UVXY, because like, it's funny, like the reason, maybe I think trading UVXY a lot is maybe the reason why I piked that Roku trade, because like UVXY has taught me that if you're wrong, you need to get the shit out like fast, because you can get really burned if you just hold like this short. You're gonna get really burned, and like this is such a whippy stock. It's not for beginners, but I do want to go over my thought process on how I traded this. So for those who don't know, UVXY trades inverse to the market, meaning as the market goes down, the UVXY will go up. As the market recovers, UVXY is going to come down, right? So they trade inverse of each other. And so what I was really hoping for, I want to go over some thought process on the SPY a couple days ago, or on the daily. So it starts here, right? So we're at all-time highs from the top. So why am I trying to buy the dip on the SPY? Essentially, I've been short UVXY, short bias the last like few days. So like, you might say, why am I trying to buy the dip on the SPY? And that's a really good question. I'm just trying to make trades based off support and resistance. So here at the SPY, I really started to like this trade around yesterday on the 9th, or not like on the 9th, the day, not yesterday, but the day of the trading. And 285 was the first level I thought can hold. So just to kind of, this is here on the SPY 285, because I'm going to switch this chart. Let's do it here. And so 2 days ago on the 9th, where's the 9th? Right here. We gapped down, and we're gapping down around this 285 level. So in my mind, on this day, 285 is the big level to be watching, right? And so we tank here at the open, and in my mind, all the way down to 284 and 283s, this is what I'm hoping for, is all emotion. This move here, this fear, I'm hoping that this is all fear, and at this time UVXY is spiking, right? And it's causing me to want to short it. So so what I'm looking for is a 285 reclaim, and then like I'm gonna think that my trade is valid, my trade is on for a UVXY short, because like my goal is that like at this time the prior close was like, on this day the prior close was like right there, right? Like 287 or something. So I'm like, maybe if we can reclaim 285, we can have a big range day on the SPY and come back. And so we do get this, what I notice right here, and I traded this on the other day. I don't have that chart, because I didn't plan on making a video lesson on that because it's a UVXY, but I'm coupling this because of how I compared Roku to trading it with the SPY. This is also something I'm trading with the SPY, and I saved this chart. So you'll see, like right here, the big volume candle comes in at 285. So this kind of confirms my thesis, and I got short that day on this news, on the 285 news, and I did get a trade out of it. But that wasn't today. So that was just the previous day, and I want to go over my thought process, because my thought process on my yesterday trade was based off that same reasoning. So UVXY and SPY on the 1 minute. Yeah, and so here we are again. We're gapping up, and so even in my watch list on the webinar, I said I wanted to see 285 retest, and once we retested, 285, if we confirm to hold, I'm going to be expecting this to try to push to green, right? This is what I want out of the trade. If we can retest 285, then I think that we can go for a test for green. And if we go for a test for green, this, UVXY is going to crumble. And that's what I was looking for out of the gate. And so when we tested 285 pre-market and we're holding 285.50, what I want out of this trade, is an attempt to go green, and the green level is like right above here, right? You can't see it, but oh yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it because it's past the day. But anyway, the green level is like right up there, like right a little bit above 287. So I get short right here at the market on UVXY. Go. Yeah, I get short right here at UVXY at the open, and I get a nice morning flush. And my rule about the mornings is that I expect both directions to kind of happen, like a general rule of thumb. Like I feel like there's going to be some up movement and some down movement, especially with stocks when there's a lot of indecision. So, what that means is I'm not staying and praying, I'm nailing and bailing. So that's how that affects my trading decision. It also means that I might most of the time be unwilling to trade the open, and that's normally how I treat all stocks. I don't really trade the immediate open. But I'm thinking that we're gonna go for, there's gonna be some FOMO or something on the SPY, and like we're gonna get a push to green, and we do get this initial attempt. And it was enough for me to take my profit, and it was enough for UVXY trades a lot on expectations. If you notice it, sometimes if the SPY is moving and you think, and the SPY is looking strong, like it's looking like it's gonna break out, UVXY pre-tanks a little bit. Or if the SPY is looking like it's going to fail, UVXY rips like almost ahead of the time. So this is what makes UVXY really tricky and not a beginner trade. But this is my reasoning, is that it's trading on the expectation that green was going to come, and that's what I wanted. So, I ended up being totally wrong. It didn't happen in the morning, or maybe not totally wrong because it eventually does happen later, but timing was a little off, but that's okay. I was trading on the expectation of the attempt to go green, not necessarily that it was going to go green. So when we fall down here, I almost get a reset of my last trade idea. But we're under 285. Now I get the 285 reclaim idea that I had in mind 2 days ago. And so we do kind of get it, and you notice the big volume candle here when it breaks through 285. It's almost like the market cares about that level. So 285 is now my level, and let's pull up my trade. I think I missed that. I think I missed that entry. Yeah, what time did I get in? Around 1? Oh no, I did get that. Cool. So when we pushed to 285, I let it test and see if it was going to make higher lows. And around like 1 o'clock when we were going strong here, when we were holding this strong on the SPY, I decided to get short with the attempt that it might push to green again. They're the same kind of idea. Like green is around 287's area. Can I get a prior close? Yeah, or 288. So when we're holding strong here and I'm expecting like a push to the green, I'm trading that like because it's holding 285 again, like we might get some push into the green territory. So that's when I trade down here. I get a nice another little scalp out of it, or right around here. And I'm trying to work better on my patience with these. Like I shorted around here at 40s and got the 38s. Like it's very tough. Like I've noticed like my patience is very like sometimes I'm getting rewarded for not having patience, and that's kind of conditioning me to be a piker. There are big moves to be made. I guess I just need to get a little bit more familiar with these kinds of ETFs. Need to get I'm not used to trading the SPY. It's something new, so I am piker-ish. I am learning every single day, and yeah, so I shorted it right around here, covered in the 38s. Came back good because I probably would have covered anyway, right? And then I would have shot myself, so I nailed and bailed this one. I got the kind of excitement that I wanted on the proof of 285 holding. That's all I really can expect out of the trade, because that's what I wanted. Maybe my patience can be greater in the long run. I can hold a small piece for the green, because I was kind of hoping it would go green, even though my trade was based on the expectation of the attempt to go green. So this is stuff that I'm going to be working on going forward. Is like if I truly think that like if 285 is holding and I think it can go green from 285, to maybe just hold on to a tenth or something, or hold on to like a fifth even for the ultimate idea, because big moves, as you can see, are possible on UVXY, um, but it is very whippy. So like right now I'm just trading into the whippiness. Um, and here's the trade one more time just because I didn't have it up for very long. Yeah, it's kind of a scalp, but I got like 60 cents out of it. It doesn't seem like a lot on this range, but I guess it's just big to me because I'm from small cap. That's pretty decent. So yeah, those are my two trades on Friday, and I hope you got something out of it. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Like I said, I'm learning large caps as I go. So I hope you got something out of it. Have a great day, everybody. Aloha.